feel like this would be the perfect time to make an updated mock draft for the 2024 NHL draft. So let's jump right into it. As the San Jose Sharks will select Macklin Celebrini, an unreal player for Boston University, was able to create just so much star power that they needed. The pace that he plays at, the hockey IQ, the smarts that he plays, he has that 200-foot game. I think he's going to be a beast at the next level for the San Jose Sharks. And with the second overall pick, I had Lindstrom in the last mock draft. I'm still a believer in him, but I think they'll go with best player available in Ivan Demidov. The Blackhawks tend to go best player available as they have been the last couple of years, and Demidov just brings an incredible skill set with his hands, his IQ, his decision making. I think he's going to be a really good magician with the puck at the next level to play alongside Connor Bedard. With the third overall pick, I think the Anaheim Ducks will select Artem Levshinov out of Michigan State University. And he was a very good player for Michigan State, creating just a wonderful 200-foot game, two-way. Good shot, pretty good skater, hockey smarts. And I just think that he's a very well-rounded defenseman and probably the best defenseman in this draft. And with the fourth overall pick, the Columbus Blue Jackets will go on ahead and select Caden Lindstrom, as this is one of my favorite players in the draft because I just really like the size that he brings. The great skating for his size. The puck handling, the shot that he has. I know he got hurt, and there are some concerns with the injury, but I just think he's a high floor guy that is really going to help Columbus at the next level if they want to compete now. And with the fifth overall pick, I have the Montreal Canadiens selecting TJ Ginla, as this is another one of my favorite prospects. He was unreal for Kelowna in the WHL. 47 goals, I think it was. Unreal. A great breakout from Seattle, transitioning over to Kelowna. And then his U18s was phenomenal as he was able to have a point a game and get the gold medal. He had the game-winning goal. Just an unreal player. The smarts, the skating, the decision making, and he's got that wicked shot. I think he's a really well-rounded player and going to creep up in the top 5 when it comes down for the draft. With the sixth overall pick, I have the Arizona Coyotes still selecting Anton Salayev, and I could see him going number 3, him or Levshinov, but I think that Anaheim will go with a right-handed D, and Arizona will go with Anton Salayev as they're going to pick best player available for the defenseman that they need. And I really like Salayev. He's got that size. Let's see it, 6'7", 207. Just an unreal skater for his size. The decision making is pretty good. The hockey smarts is really good, but the defensive aspects, the physical game, the gap control is pretty good. He's very good in the transition. I think he's a really well-rounded defenseman and will be a middle pairing shutdown D for them at the next level. The 7th overall pick, the Ottawa Senators will select Cole Eiserman. And I think this is a really good pick for them considering the fact that they need a goal scorer on that wing to play alongside Tim Stützle, and I feel like this is the perfect matchup for them. And with the 8th overall pick, the Seattle Kraken will select Zane Parekh. And Zane Parekh is also one of my favorite players. That offensive game that he has is unreal. The shot, the hands. He reminds me a lot of Erik Karlsson. He's got that incredible offensive push to him, and he's just a very good offensive defenseman. The defensive work needs a little bit of time to adjust, and that'll be fine, I think, in the long run. But he's going to be a really good quarterback on the power play in the near future. And with the 9th overall pick, the Flames will select Sam Dickinson out of the London Knights. And I think this is a very good pick as well. Two-way, a pretty well-rounded defenseman. I think it's 6'3", 194. Yep, yes it is. And I think he is a really good, he's got the shot, he's got the skating. He's got the defensive aspects. I'd like to see him being a little bit more physical, but other than that, I think he's a really good two-way defenseman at the next level. With the 10th overall pick, the New Jersey Devils will select Berkeley Catton. I'm not as high on him as most, but I can see where they're coming from. He's got that great hockey smarts, the good edge work, and the great passing and puck handling game that he brings. His IQ is off the charts. But I still question the strength, the potential as being a complete center at the next level is kind of lacking there. But I can see if he turns into maybe a second, third line center at the next level, but we'll see. And with the 11th overall pick, the Buffalo Sabres will select Consta Hellenius, as I think this one's a really good pick for them. And I think he's just a really good, well rounded winger that they need. And 5'11, 191. I mean, he skates well, got great compete. I mean, defensive aspects, he's really good. And pretty good production in the Liga. I think it was 34 and 51. Yeah, I mean, he was he was an absolute beast in the Liga this year, and he's going to be a really safe pick for them. With the 12th overall pick, the Philadelphia Flyers will select Zeev Buum, and I think this is a really good home run pick for them. I mean, Zeev brings a lot of more of a well-rounded offensive defenseman with incredible skating, puck handling, the vision. I mean, led his team to the national championship for Denver, and I think he's going to be a very good QB on the power play. I mean, the transition game, he's unbelievable, and I mean, his defensive aspects are pretty good too, and I think there's a lot to work off of and build off of with Zeev Buum. The 13th overall pick, I have the Minnesota Wild selecting Beckett Seneca, and he is a really good riser in the recency. I mean, you saw what he was able to do in the playoffs. I mean, over a point per game in the playoffs for Oshawa. I mean, still in the finals. I mean, he's great hands. I mean, just his dangling is so nasty, and the passing that he has is really good. And he is very good at carrying the mail on the power play. Not the best skater, but he's pretty good, but very skilled. I mean, he's a pretty big player, 6'2", 191. I mean, got that little bit of physical push to him, and he's a very good player. The 14th overall pick, San Jose Sharks will select Carter Yakimchuk. And I think this is a very good pick for them, and they need a defenseman in the system. I mean, Yakimchuk brings just a big, heavy, physical game with that booming shot. I mean, the incredible hands, and 6'3", 194, yeah. I mean, the decision making does need a little bit of work, but there's a lot to build off of with Yakimchuk, as he's just going to be a bully at the next level. And with the 15th overall pick, the Detroit Red Wings will select Liam Greentree out of the Spitfires of the WHL, and I think that he's exactly what Detroit's needing with the great hands, the great hockey IQ. I mean, he's got a pretty good shot. 6'2", 198, just a strong player. The skating game is horrific, and there's definitely something to build off of with that edge work, but the top end speed is going to need some work. But if he gets the right help with developing the right tools, he could be a monster at the next level, and I think that Detroit is willing to take that risk, and I think he's a really good offensive player, but the skating game is just the only thing that is kind of lacking, but it's 100% teachable. And with the 16th overall pick, the St. Louis Blues will select. Let me find them. I think they're going to go with a D here, and this is tough. I think they'll go with a lefty, actually. You know what? I think go with Leo Salim Melanius. This might be a little bit of a reach for Leo Salim Melanius, but I think that he's an unreal offensive defenseman. I mean, 6', 176. I mean, great offensively. I mean, great quarterback in the power play for the U18s. I mean, he's pretty good defensively, but he's got that offensive spark to him, and I really think he's going to be that really good missing piece for that on that blue line for St. Louis if they want to compete. And you might criticize this one as being a little bit too high, but I'm really high on Wallenius, and I think he's a very good player. And with the 17th overall pick, the Washington Capitals will select. I think they're actually going to go best player available with Trevor Connolly. There are some character concerns with him, and that's kind of why he's falling a little bit, but he's got a really good skill set to him. I mean, the skating, the puck handling, he's got pretty good vision, and he was explosive for the U18s in the U.S., except for taking that penalty, which cost them the whole tournament. But other than that, I mean, he's got that great agility. I mean, the speed is unreal. I mean, the puck handling is ridiculous. I mean, he's a really good offensive-minded player, and I think he's gonna be a monster for them at the next level. And With the 18th overall pick, I have the New York Islanders selecting Michael Brenseg-Newgard, and I think this one's a really good pick for them. And I think he's a complete winger. I mean, very good. I mean, physical. I mean, great compete, great defensively, got a great shot. I mean, just an overall a gritty player, and he does need a little bit of work with that, with the puck handling and maybe the skating. But other than that, I mean, he's just an unreal player. 6'1", 198, pretty good size for him. He's a really good, well-rounded winger for them. And with the 19th overall pick, he has risen a lot lately, but I think Michael Hage is going to be the pick. You could see him going higher, and I can totally respect that. But for now, I have him at 19. I mean, he was unreal for the Chicago Steel in the USHL. 6'1", 190, a dynamic player off the rush, like it just says. I mean, that's definitely true. I mean, with the puck handling, I mean, his shot is ridiculous. I mean, that agility is amazing. The speed is really good, and he's just a really good skilled player for them. Going to be for the Vegas Golden Knights at the next level. The 20th overall pick, I have the Chicago Blackhawks selecting Emil Hemming. And I think he's also one of my favorite prospects. I had him really high last mock draft, but 20 I think is pretty reasonable. I mean, he showed some really good. He showed some pretty good offensive sparks for them at the U18s for Finland. I mean, him and Konsta Helenius were on the same line, and they were a pretty good duo for them. And I mean, he's he's got a wicked shot. I mean, he just finds a way to score goals, especially on that power play. I mean, he's a really good dual threat for them, and I think he's going to be amazing for like Connor Bedard or Demidov for them to just feed him the puck back door, and I think he's going to be a very nice goal scoring winger at the next level. With the 18th, not the 18th, with the 21st overall pick, the LA Kings will select Cole Hudson. And I think this one could be a little bit high considering the defensive play, the physicality. I mean, the skating's not amazing, but I mean, 5'10", 160 is gonna hold him back. But he's not the fastest, but he's got that elite agility, just like his brother Wayne. And I really think that the Kings are gonna need someone like that, a QB on the power play, just with that incredible vision. And I really think he's gonna step into Lane Hudson's shoes next year for Boston University. With the 22nd overall pick, the Nashville Predators will select Henry Muse. And I think this is a really good one as well because Muse brings a good threats in the transition game. 6', 185, could be a little bit bigger. Very versatile. He's very smart. Good offensively. Good defensively as well. And he's a pretty good, well-rounded player. I mean, sometimes the defensive aspects are a little bit lackluster, but he's a pretty good player. He's a pretty good player, and he showed some really good signs at the U18s for Canada. And he's definitely going to be a good defenseman for the Predators. And with the 23rd overall pick, the Toronto Maple Leafs will select Adam Jiricek. And I'm pretty low on him. I've scouted him a lot recently, more than what I have been, but I just really don't like it. I mean, 6'2", 168 is you gotta bulk up. I mean, he's solid offensively, solid defensively. He's pretty big. Gotta bulk up a little bit, but like I don't know. I just have some injury concerns. I mean, he's pretty skilled. I mean, but I just really think he's pretty weak, and he can't really he's going to adapt against higher competition. I just don't think he's a really high ceiling guy. And with the 24th overall pick, I have the Anaheim Ducks selecting Sasha Boisford, and I think this is a really good one because I think he's a really good second, third line center that the Ducks need. I mean, really skilled. I mean, he just finds a way to put the puck in the back of the net, and it was really good for the Lumberjacks this year in the USHL. I mean, it was amazing to see what he's able to do. I mean, you can't. I mean, you have to thank Matvei Gridin too for helping him create what he was, as they were a really good line, and he's just a really well-rounded, mature center who's going to be amazing at the next level. And with the 25th overall pick, the Colorado Avalanche will select. This one's tough. I have them going John Mustard, he just won Rookie of the Year in the USHL. I mean, he's just a very good, well-rounded center. I mean, does have a really good high motor, really gritty, scrappy player, and he just finds a way to score goals. I mean, pretty good skater. I mean, he's nothing like elite in terms of like skill sets, but he's just like a dog everywhere, and he's just ready. He's just always ready to put the puck in the back of the net. I mean, I really like his game. The 26th overall pick, I have the Ottawa Senators selecting Igor Chernyshov, and I think this is a pretty good one for them. I mean, a really good winger for them that they're going to need. I mean, 6'2", 192 was amazing in the MHL this year. I mean, he's a pretty good skater, pretty good hands, pretty good shot, pretty good puck handling slash passing. I mean, he's pretty good at everything, but not elite at anything. I mean, he he did have sometimes it was lackluster in production wise, but he's a goal scorer and he's just a true power forward that's gonna be really good at the next level. With the 27th overall pick, the Montreal Canadiens will go with Aaron Kiviharju. And I think that this is a pretty good fit for Montreal as they're willing to take the risk with small defensemen as the with the Wayne Hudson factor. And I think Kiviharju is a pretty good boomer is a not good but like he's a boomer bust player as 5'10", 165, really light. I mean he's got that unreal edge work and the agility. I mean I think he's going to have a tough time adjusting to the pro level, but I mean his offensive tools are very translatable, but he's just got to be less fancy and kind of becoming more consistent at the next level for him to break out as being a pretty good player at the NHL level. With the 28th overall pick, the Carolina Hurricanes will select. This one's tough. I don't know. I don't know who to go here. I think they're gonna go with actually Dean Letourneau, as I think this one is very weird. As I mean, St. Andrews College is definitely a weird path to go through. It being maybe in the first round. I mean, 6'7", 210, but he's pretty good skater and he's got great size. And I just think that Carolina would be the team to take the risk on taking this true big power forward. And like, he's definitely the weirdest prospect I've ever seen, but he's a pretty good player and he's a goal scorer. It's kind of hard to judge him because of the fact that he's playing not great hockey, but put a couple games in the USHL. He looked pretty solid there, so hopefully he's going to be able to be just fine in the development standpoint, and hopefully turn out to be an NHL player. With the 29th overall pick, the Calgary Flames will select Tariq Periscak, and I think this is a really good one for them, as he's a very good kind of just goal scoring right wing that they need, and I feel like, but he's also a really good playmaker. I mean, he's got a great shot, great puck handling. The skating does need some work, and he's got a little bit on the smaller side, 5'11", 179. I mean, his skating's pretty good, but it's not amazing, and he can shoot the puck from anywhere. I mean, pure sniper slash playmaker. I mean, a really good player. And with the 30th overall pick, one of my favorites out of the USNTDP, EJ Emery. And I think this is what everyone wants in a shutdown defenseman. I mean, he moves well, has an unreal frame of 6'3", 185, very physical, not much offensive, but he's simple. And that's all he's due for, and that's all NHL teams are looking for. I mean, he's very good at what he does. I mean, great skating, physical, defensive wise. I mean, he's really good playing with Cole Hudson. He's a very safe pick for them. And with the 31st overall pick, Nikita Artemonov will be the pick. I really like Artemonov. I mean, he's kind of just a dog, a gritty player. I mean, he's kind of just like a little silky guy. I mean, who's up your ass all the time, and he's a really good player who's just like on the puck, like a pain to deal with, and he's got a chip on his shoulder, and he pretty good production considering the fact that he was playing in the KHL and not being this not being like the not being like the have the highest IQ, but like was looking pretty good, I have to say. And with the last pick of the first round, I have the New York Rangers selecting. I think they're going to go for a center here. There's a lot of great options here. I mean, these rankings are a little off, but I think it's either going to be Luke Misa, Cole Boynan, or Jet Luchenko. I think it's going to be Cole Boynan. And I actually do like this pick a lot. I watched him a lot in the U18s. He was very solid for them, and he's one of the strongest players in the draft. Doesn't skate that well, but he's able to bear down pucks in the slot. I mean, he's just so strong with on the puck. I mean, along the boards. I mean, he's just a dog, and he actually skates decently for his size at 6'2", 201. I mean, he's kind of just a power forward slash grinder, and I think he's a very good maybe third, fourth line center for the Rangers, who is definitely going to help contribute to the Rangers' success. And that's going to do it for today. It's the full first round. Make sure to like and subscribe, and follow NHL Prospects Analysis on YouTube, on Instagram, and follow this channel, NHL Draft Expert, on YouTube and turn that notification bell on to not miss any more draft hockey content. And it is on the way for you guys. Take it easy.